please stand and call the meeting to order with the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. We obviously have a very full house and a very full agenda. We're going to get started. Can I ask the board if everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes from the last meeting? If there's any other edits, Alyssa, thank you again for being so detailed. Can I get a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right. Today's a very special day in the village of Lima. We get to bring in a new board member to sit in the vacancy as John Stolz has left this earth. God rest his soul and bless his family. At this time, can I please have Erica Runher-Rogo come forward, please? I'll let you stay on this side of the floor. Erica, please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of trustee
the duties of the office of the trustee
of the Village of Lima,
of the Village of Lima,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
And one more here.
Sure. Erica would like to address the room,
Yeah.
please.
So good evening, everybody. This is truly a great honor for me, and I'm not going to take up a lot of time. First of all, I just want to recognize and acknowledge Jonathan Stills for his contributions and his commitment to this community, and he will surely be missed. And while I'm a different person, have different experiences, different vision, or perhaps similar to what Jonathan had, I think you will definitely hear the echo of Jonathan's voice in the work that I do to serve the community, and as you hear my voice. The other thing is I would like to thank you, Mr. Mayor, John, for choosing me, for giving me this opportunity to really be a servant to the Lima community. I've been involved in many capacities in the time that I've lived in this community. I'm a registered nurse. I've been on Be Well. I've organized a cemetery initiative for cleanup. I've been on Rotary. I've even presented an Evening of Hope in our community to give education and break stigma for people that have a mental illness or are struggling with addiction. So my message to you is that I care, I'm here, and I'm really hoping that I can hear your vision, hear your concerns, hear your ideas, and certainly hear your solutions as well. So thank you. I look forward to serving you.
I will make mention that Erica was the only person that approached me individually. I had reached out to a couple of other candidates that I thought would suit the board, and when she made the phone call to me, I knew in my heart that she was the right person for the job. So thank you for accepting the appointment.
Thank you.
All right, moving along. We have a presentation by Eagle Scouts, Braden. That's Braden, right?
Yes.
All right. Tonight, I'll be presenting you my Eagle Scout project to rebuild the dock at Mark Tubbs. If many of you have been down there, it is still the old cement cinder block that has been sitting there for many years. I want to rebuild the dock to make it look better and for more people to want to go down there and have a good time. my plan is to do an 8x10 dock using Trex wood. With the handout you got, there is a rough draft of a picture of what is the idea of the dock. Very gray. Printers don't like this.
Sorry for all these, we get ahead, I might have to share, but if someone wants the additional information after, we can send it out to you.
I was originally going to do a different project with the DEC that was not available. So I then got this idea from a group called the Pumpkin Festival that they are gladly going to donate the money for all of this to be done.
Awesome.
So I'm here tonight to get the approval from the village board.
Enough to answer any questions or
Yeah.
concerns that anyone may have.
What color would the Trex deck be?
That has not been decided yet.
Who's gonna make that decision?
I guess when we go out and buy it, I guess, we'll see which one is the best.
Steve, did Bill say anything about what?
Bill, I can speak on that.
Oh, sorry, Bill, you're in the corner, I apologize, thank you, sir.
He can speak
It's,
for himself.
They don't have Trex at Avon Lumber. They have a different product. It's supposed to be the top of the line. And the best color they can come up with is gray. I mean, they
Okay.
have like 3 other colors. There's a red, there's a brown. But I think the gray would be less obtrusive.
Alright, yeah.
Awesome. Does it need any kind of maintenance after a certain period of time?
That is why we are going with that type of wood, was so it'd be low maintenance for afterwards. So you wouldn't have to worry about it after how many years?
And how's it gonna, will it be attached to the existing concrete block?
Yes, so it will, basically the dock that is there now, we will remove the old, the old diving board metal piece that is on top of it, and then we will put supports around the other sides, and that'll act as a lower support for the new coming dock.
Awesome.
And for those of you that don't know what the Trex is, that's what the benches in the current pavilion and house are made out of. Those benches, the picnic tables, the same type material.
Yeah.
So if you guys aren't aware of what the actual material is, that's what we're talking about.
Not to get too particular, but Charlie, since you're here, Charlie Flosser, will we need a permit for this?
I don't think they do, no. I
Um,
can inspect it, but,
The
you
DEC
know,
will
I
be
talked to her
with it.
husband or father, I guess.
No, my bad, yeah.
Dad,
If there's a permit necessary, I'll make a motion to the board to waive all the permit fees.
Second.
All in favor of that?
The DEC does require a permit, so once it's approved by, it's not even approved by the park committee, once it's approved by the village and the town, we will require them as a signature on the permit as to who owns that property. We do have the permit, we will fill it out in its entirety and bring it back to the 2 responsible individuals for the village and town, and if you guys let us know who those are, if it's obviously approved through the village and the town.
So we've had prior conversation about this, again, the environmental impact of this small dock, but because it's a pond and wetland, we wanted to make sure that we were doing everything correctly within the DEC guidelines. So thank you for following that down.
Yes.
Yep, we did a face-to-face meeting with them today, and they did say, go through the permit process, and it'll take about a week, week and a half, email it to them, and the gentleman was very happy to comply, as long as we got these prior approvals prior to sending it to him.
So you're looking for approval from the village board. We've already, as a Parks Commission, 3 of the members are here. We've approved this provisionally through the Parks Commission. So from the village board standpoint, I'd like to recommend that we, as a village board, accept this as a project. I think it's well overdue and will be a very nice feature in the Marktop Park.
Absolutely. Can I get a motion then?
I will make the motion to accept the Braden's Eagle Scout project, sorry about that, the Eagle Scout project at Mark Tubbs Park pending approval by the DEC.
And a second, please?
Is it okay if I vote on this matter? Just being the scoutmaster, I don't know if there's conflict of interest.
Yeah, he is, that is his leader.
I think Eric had the second. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I'm so moved. Congratulations.
Alright, thank you.
So look forward to
Yeah.
beyond that, but your intention is to do it this calendar year, if possible?
Yes.
Right.
As long as all the proper approvals and the permit is in place, we wanna make sure we comply with everything before building.
Absolutely.
When
That's
is your
fantastic.
18th break-in?
I got 2 years.
Okay. You got time.
2008
Unlike
November.
this one who did it 2 days before. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Brady, great job.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to open the public hearing regarding the land purchase from the fire department. Does anybody have any comments at this time? I'll keep this.
Can you walk us through that? I think I read the minutes from August 8th, but it didn't give us any details, so.
Would you mind standing up and
Yes.
speaking? Thank you.
Yes, so I'm Scott Cacamus. So I read the minutes from August 8th, but it didn't give us any details of what properties are we talking about? Kind of, where is it going? What's the goal? So if we could get a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna
a little-
defer to Andy Luft with the fire department, since he is really well versed with this.
Yes.
So, I'm Andy Luff, president of the fire department. So, back in 1979, we're gonna go down a little history trail here. A member of the fire department bought what was the old hotel that sat in the village, in the parking lot on Lake Ave, over there at the firehouse. There was an 85-foot by 85-foot square foot parking lot there that's now after the hotel was torn down. That member in the incorporated side of the fire department, 501c, transferred that property into our hands, and we've owned it ever since 1989. So we are looking to now sell that property back to the village, because it's obviously used for the village fire department and everything else, to clean up that real estate mess. The second part of this purchase and transition action is the back barn that sits behind the firehouse. It's now a 3-bay garage that sits back there now. It used to be 2, and then we kept expanding. Back in the days of the carnival days, we used to store all our booths and carnival stuff up at between the village and the town barns and everything else. They needed the space, they kicked us out of there. So being that the incorporated side needed some space for storage of our fundraising material and stuff like that, we built on village land the garage. And then over the years, we've expanded it, we put on the lean-to, we built the retaining walls, and that all came out of incorporated money. It's no longer used, obviously we don't do a carnival anymore, our fundraisers have changed, everything that's being stored currently in that back building is all fire department material. So we're looking to clean up the real estate mess so that the incorporated no longer owns that back garage, and that we don't own a parking lot anymore that we have no use of anymore per se, other than us parking in it, which we're village employees. So other than doing a, park for one price all day, that's the only use we have for that parking lot. So we're looking to just basically clean up a real estate mess that's been there, get the village back, a building that sits on their property, and a parking lot that's kind of theirs that, parking. So this is just cleaning up that mess there. The fair real estate property value of both of those buildings have been assessed, and that's where that $40,000 price tag comes from. So that's what we're looking for. Anybody have any other questions? Yes, sir.
Is there a guarantee that that's gonna be staying as that is now, or is it gonna be earmarked for something else?
What?
The property that.
Well, that's in the village hands, so at that point, it becomes their property.
So if they decide they don't want a parking lot, they can do that?
They absolutely could. I mean, the firehouse obviously isn't going anywhere, so we need the parking. So, with it being owned by the incorporated side, we could have done whatever we wanted with that parking lot. Obviously, we were going to park somewhere, but no, the village would own it now. So, we owned most of that parking lot beforehand. They owned like 2-3 spots and a right-of-way through there. Now they would own the entire parking lot. So they would keep it as a municipal parking lot. We have no plans of changing anything, nor do they, as we talked before. It's still going to be fire department parking only in there. And the back barn that's storing their stuff, for fire department stuff, there's gear in there, there's a bunch of other stuff. That's going to change. Nothing's going to really change in it. We're just cleaning up the mess of who owns what. That's all we're trying to do.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
At that point in time, what does Inc. own?
At that point in time, the Inc. would absolutely own no real estate property at that time.
At that time?
At that time.
Okay, does this have an assessed value?
Yes, so the parking lot is assessed at $20,000,
Okay.
and the back barn was assessed between $20,000 to $30,000.
And does that contribute to our tax base?
No, so we are taking the money out of our reserve fund, out of the fire department fund, so it does not come out of regular village accounts. and it's coming out of our reserve fund that we've already set money aside for this building fund. So there's no change in any taxpayer dollars.
So no change, but like on a yearly basis, since the Inc. owns that, right,
Yep.
you're tax exempt.
Correct.
But you own that, right now, is that generating any tax?
No, it is not.
It's not
No, we've
not
never-
taxable?
It's
Okay.
non-taxable property, and it's gonna remain non-taxable,
Okay.
so nothing changes in the tax base.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
So that takes us to the next question.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any question about this transaction?
Well, I
Okay.
just wonder, why
Could you stand up for me, please?
John Waddick, Ziegler Drive, usually when these type of transfers, it's like $1 and it'd be transferred, but I don't understand why the village is paying 40 grand. Would it be better to put it in the truck fund or something and you still get it somehow?
No, there's a couple other reasons why the 40,000 has come up for this, of why we're doing it now at this point in time, so that's why we're selling the property to the village.
So the next thing was, I believe where this goes is, you spoke about you have an opportunity to buy the storefront next to you.
The incorporated does,
The
yes.
incorporated does, okay, I can talk, I know you're for when I'm gonna talk to you like you're the head of you're the face of the incorporated, right?
I am, so
So,
yes.
so you have the opportunity, the incorporated has the opportunity to buy the storefront next to you.
Correct.
And the incorporated is looking to do that, to take that over.
That's right.
So, from a taxpayer and from the views, the future of Lima, that's assessed at $72,000, right? Okay, so that yearly contributes to our tax base.
You are correct.
You, Inc., I'm gonna say you, but Inc. takes that off the plate,
Correct.
we lose that tax base,
Correct.
right? So that no longer is a commercial property.
Correct.
That's a bummer to me, because if I think about Lima as a future, that part of it, and I know that's different than this transaction, but it was spoken about in the I think about us and our tax base in future Lime 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Could that be a hardware store? Could that be a hair salon, right? That's gonna generate sales tax, not only tax base, sales tax. Somebody walks out of there, I had to go to the hardware store, I had to go to Monroe County, right? Bums out, there goes my tax, there goes my tax money, right? Now, if I was going to there in the hardware store, I walk out, Milk and Honey's right there, I grab a sandwich, right? So, I hope the Inc. thinks about that and takes that into consideration.
So we've taken that into consideration since he brought it up. The Inc. is looking at purchasing Julia's Salon. Through that, we have over the years looked at both properties. So since we've been there since 1989, we've basically outgrown the firehouses we have. There's been no changes to that. It is not set up for our needs anymore. We don't have office space. We don't have the room that we need right now. We have looked at over the years, when the barber shop to the south of us sold out, looking at that property to purchase and buy, and it didn't work out. When Wiggins' property sold, we were the first ones to be offered that property. We looked into that, and that just didn't fit our needs and everything. This property here fits our needs for some more office space of what we desperately need. It will buy us time for us to not have to look at another firehouse somewhere else. We want to stay right in the central of the community and everything else. We've looked at back when the Carnival Day stopped, Joe Conway offered us up the property up there for us to build a firehouse up there. And we wanted to stay down there because, a big hill, get very, didn't want to come down the hill with all the fire trucks, it would go too fast through the four corners. But no, we wanted to stay right where we were, and this is a very small retail space. It's only 12 by 75. There would never be a hardware store in there.
Right.
There's very limited use of what somebody could move in there for. Sure, another retail space move in there, but there is a ton of retail space available in Lima right now. There is vacant space all over the place, so us taking over one very small space for our needs that back right into our firehouse and everything like that we can use, it's really the best idea. And the reason that the incorporated is looking at buying it and taking over versus the village or anything else like that is we can take our time, figure out what we gotta do. We're gonna spend our own money to fix it up and do what we wanna do with it and not take any more taxpayer dollars.
So So that's, you said the spot on words that we have a lot of vacancies. Like that is,
100%.
and that's how, that's upsetting all of us.
Absolutely.
You know, you right?
Right.
Right.
So I mean, if another private investor bought that, who knows how long that would sit there
But
vacant?
it's still, every year it's assessed, it's still gonna generate, even if it sits vacant, it still generates, it helps our tax base,
It does.
right? I love your fire truck, I love old stuff.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful display.
Yes.
Can you renovate that? That area, got
So we looked into renovating that, and it was actually looked into by the village, because they thought about putting a community center in there one time. And we took at that point, the village board over there and showed them it, and the renovation cost of it, if you look at the front door, which the historical society told us we would never change, it's an in-swing door, it can't be remodeled, the windows have to be raised, we would be spending well over the cost of what our expanding space over to Julie's would be. And at that point, we would have no place to even put our truck. It's been out in the back barn before, village with it. That had a terrible flooding, mildew problem and everything else out there in that one bay and everything because of that back hill that all pours right into that back barn. Sorry, the property line is great.
That's not a good sales pitch.
No, it isn't a good salesman, no. I'll write that out, it's not great, but we maintain it the best we can. I'm sorry, yes.
No, I'm
Oh.
just commenting that, yes, I know there's areas, there's issues with flooding in that.
Yeah, they're absolutely, I mean, we sit at the bottom of the hill down there, that's
Yeah.
just the only spot that we had back in the days to build that.
It is also holding a brush fire truck, and that has no home.
Correct, I mean, the second bay in there is our grass fire truck that sits in there, so I mean, to move those things out, we just don't have any space, so when the ambulance did move out of there, I mean, we quickly assumed that space that they were accompanied, so. Right now, we are listed as the emergency response coordinator, that we're supposed to have an area and office for that set up. We don't have that. We have none of that set up and everything. So one of the things is we're gonna try and set it up as a conference area, a conference room and stuff for this kind of things right now. And so all the things that are gonna be going on there, it's going to be village fire department stuff. It's not gonna be incorporated this kind of stuff. But we're buying under that, so no taxpayer dollars get spent after this purchase.
Question.
Yes?
And I'll just.
Ken, can you stand up?
I'm so sorry, yes.
Thanks, sir.
Just at the top of my head, you guys need like some office space, is kind of what you need, right? You don't need places for the trucks, because the trucks are good where they are.
The trucks are good, we need office storage space.
Just office and storage.
Yes.
Does the ambulance have a place that can let these guys use as an office?
No.
There's nothing there at all?
I mean, up at the ambulance, they have their,
They're maxed out?
they have their
Okay.
office area that they run their dispatch for city center out of. They have a very small break room like we do.
I've been on one.
100%, and then they have that community room that they, use for their meetings, and that they also rent out. So I mean, those are the only three rooms that are up there.
They have 3 trucks and 2 bays.
Right,
They're
yeah.
already cramped tight.
They are crammed.
They're already crammed up
Is
there
there any way
also.
to put an annex on the other side of that to expand that building?
On what?
On that,
But not for the price tag that we're
price
getting.
that we're talking about.
Not the price tag we're talking.
I'm thinking too far in the
So we
future.
looked at, there was a grant, 2 years ago that we looked at, and we were going to look at expanding out, if everybody knows where the Bell sits out at the firehouse there on the Lake Ave side. We looked at expanding out our radio room, putting a room in there. It was $200,000 just to put up the outside shelf, not furnishing it. So, I mean, and then that's where when we got the estimate, we said, well, we're out of this idea. So,
Okay.
that's where this, so it's always been the family's intent who owns this building. The person who bought the parking lot was actually the brother of Julius. So it's always been the intent that we had the first option buy on it, and that's why where it's worth 70, they're offering it to us for 40. And that's where that price tag of the 40 comes from, of why we're doing this now. So, any questions?
Hey, thank you, that was a good explanation. As you know, you and I and Jonathan
Yes.
had a conversation about this. All of the things that were discussed here came up in those conversations. And we, again, as we move forward with this, something that the public wanted to know, we have discussed all of these. I still have concerns, the same concerns about taking it off the rolls. I have no concern that the fire department will keep the storefront looking good.
Yep.
Again, that's what could happen to it if it falls into disrepair. So it is a balancing act, and
Yep.
something that I think that, as you explained it, the need for that emergency service center, possibility of utilizing it for your weight rooms or utilizing that switch out. That conversation to me was and Jonathan, we did agree both. Again, can't speak for him, but the conversation was positive, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, so, we'll, like we say, we don't know what we're gonna do with it right now, we're probably gonna turn it into offices, but the whole thing was just securing the property for right now, is what we were looking to do.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll be leaving the public hearing open for 1 hour. About 8:10, we'll close, and I'll open it up in case anyone has any questions or comments at that time.
Can I just ask one more question? Why doesn't the village just buy that anyway, since we own the fire department, the parking lot and everything, and why doesn't the village just own this Julius lot?
There was a stipulation that Matt had mentioned as far as that, and I can't recall it.
It kind of in regards to the fair market value of the
Yes.
property.
Right.
So if the village was to buy it, they would have to buy it at the fair market value of the $72,000.
Right.
So you have a special deal?
We have a special deal
Right. Without realtors
Okay.
involved.
with the realtors.
All right, I understand.
So it's a $32,000 savings if we purchase it, and whether or not down the road someday, if whatever it turns into, just like this parking lot in the back barn, whether we transfer ownership or anything like that, at that point, we could do. And we've owned this parking lot, like I say, since '89.
Yeah, I understand the whole context.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Moving along with the department reports, Dave Kirkwood, please. Wastewater treatment plant.
I'm gonna just fly through this quick, there's a lot of people here, and I'm sure they don't wanna listen to most of this stuff.
Well, I do, I live on Ziegler Drive.
Hopefully it's smelling well down there, because things are going well. Flows are way down. The drought's kind of hitting us. We did a bunch of sewer flushing. We did have to pump about 50,000 gallons of fresh water into the head of the plant while we were doing the sewer flushing, because it was just coming down strong, and we had to dilute it a little bit. Normally we're getting some influent or some rainwater mixed in, which kind of dilutes things, and there just isn't any. There's no groundwater coming in. That was about the only thing operation-wise. The work that we did in the headworks is doing great. Tanks all through the plant are looking good. We're taking about 20 to 40 pounds of non-processable stuff out, wipes and things that were going through the plant before are now getting bagged to the auger that we rebuilt, and things are working well.
Is that pretty normal?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, we got between auger that catches that stuff, and then we have a vortex grit system that takes any small rocks, clay, anything heavy out. Between the two of those, we're probably getting 40 to 100 pounds worth of stuff a day removed from the wastewater before it goes through the plant, which is really good. Over the last month, we've got a bunch of stuff serviced. That's kind of the name of the game lately. I just wanted to show you a couple pictures because Aaron down there has been working his butt off. We managed to get, I didn't want to print a whole bunch of these because they're really not that important, but just so you appreciate the amount of work that Aaron's putting in. We managed to get the office floor painted, which was a nightmare, and it's nice to have that done. We had the outfall where the pipe goes down into the creek. The DEC had questioned this when they were here a year ago. We managed to completely rebuild that.
Wow, that's a lot
Get
of
it all
work.
back up in shape. So Aaron has been doing great stuff down there, helping me out with all this. Other than that, just a lot of cleaning and servicing. Current challenge that I'm kind of wondering where it's going to go. I don't know if anybody had a chance to read through these. I've been trying to gauge how our electrical usage is going to be. Like I said, we're about 20 to 30% below on our usage. I've been able to get the electric down, but we're still like 30 to 40% higher bills just because of the cost of the electricity. So I'm afraid like end of the year, this might be like an $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 increase in power. So that's just something we're gonna have to figure out in the budget along with everything else. Do my best to keep it lower than that, but until I get a few more bills and see what's gonna happen, I don't know. End of this month we pull the UV. That'll be nice because that's gonna save on the electricity usage and some of the lab fees. That's only required during the summer months, and end of October is the end of that.
Dave, what's the condition of the bulbs that we have? Because I know you said that last month that they last a certain amount of time, and we have a separate bank that we weren't using.
Yeah, so basically we've got 3 sets, and in order to properly disinfect, it only takes 1 set. You can get about 12,000 hours runtime on a set before it needs to get replaced. The ones coming out now are at about 6,000 hours, and you add about I think it's like 4,200 hours a season. So basically next year, we're gonna have to be looking at pretty close to the end of the year, replacing one of these banks. And then it's really about every 3 years, you gotta replace the set.
Do we have to buy them from a particular supplier, or does DEC or EPA have any grants or funding
I
assistance?
don't think there's a lot of grants or funding for it. I can try and look into that. It's gonna be 10 to 15 grand to replace a set of lights. And again, this is general, like they say it's gonna last 12. We might be able to push it 14,000 hours on a set of lights. The problem is the energy usage goes way up as the bulbs get less effective. There are off-brand manufacturers of the bulbs. I think for the sake of the plant, seeing as how it's DEC regulated and we have to pass lab tests to do it, at least the first set of bulbs, I would like to go OEM and get them replaced with what they're supposed to, and then we could kind of go look at some options for some cheaper off-brand bulbs, so we can fall back on the others if they're not getting the disinfection that we want to get. In this, I would have thought that like MRB, when this whole thing got planned, I mean, this is known about UV. I'm surprised that they didn't have this as part of the upgrade that it just needs to get budgeted in. I don't know how that stuff usually gets put into how it's normally done.
Did everyone have a chance to see those pictures?
Yes.
Did you get them back?
Yeah, I got them back. I can leave them if you want them. They're not that fancy.
The
but,
audience may want to be able to see, especially the outlets, the level of cleanup and work that was done was significant.
yeah, if anybody
Just a
wants to look
testament
at
to
them.
the quality of the crew that we have here.
So basically, yeah, out towards the back of the plant, our effluent goes out into Spring Creek. I'll pass it around. So the first picture is what it looked like before. The bank had eroded back way past the pipe. Basically, we tore it all out, rebuilt it, put a bunch of rock in, and tried to get it looking nice again.
It's a lot of work.
If anybody wants to go see it in person, let me know. That part of the plant is absolutely gorgeous.
When you give it tours, Dave, what time?
Absolutely, I'm there 6 to 3, so anybody who wants to come down, I'd be happy to take you out there. It's really not that bad of a place.
So Dave, in the past, you mentioned maybe some big improvements.
Could you mind
that are
standing for me, please?
Scott?
Oh, Scott, yeah,
Thank you.
sorry about it,
Yeah, I
I'm Scott.
appreciate it.
So in the past, they mentioned about, hey, heads up, the sewer area is gonna need improvements, maybe some equipment's gonna fail.
Just we have a lot of
End of
older
life.
equipment. I'm hoping that nothing's going to fail, but there is a lot of equipment that is getting towards its end of life.
What does that mean for us?
I'm hoping it doesn't mean much.
Well, it's good.
It is, all the equipment is built to last. There's nothing that I think is going to catastrophically fail. Where you get into some weak spots is electric motors, and I apologize, I never got a hold of you last time, I gotta get a hold of you. Some of this is just getting in the schedule, sending these things out to get rebuilt. About the most expensive thing that could fail is a lot of the pumps have big impellers in them. One of the side effects at the lower end of our sewer plant is you get little snails, and the snails can be hard on the impellers because they're hard shells, and the impellers can get really expensive to replace. I'm not expecting any of this where you're gonna come in and say, you know,
So we're not at end of
$100,000.
We're not at end of life of any of the equipment?
On paper, some of it is getting there, but I think it could go, you know, that's just manufacturers saying this is its expected end of life.
So are we looking out like in 3 years, 5 years to plan for that, right? Are we budgeting for any of that? Are we having in the reserve for that type of replacements coming? If it needs
To be honest, this is about my 3rd month doing this, so I'm trying to figure out the budget. That is, like I said, with the UV system, that's our first real trying to get the budget to reflect what it needs. It's a high-tech system. I don't know if you've ever used ultraviolet lights before, but they have a shelf life. They have a useful life. Well, we've got a huge set of UV lights that disinfects all the wastewater going out to the creek. They're about $1,000 a bulb, and each bank has rather little less. It's about 12 grand to replace all 18 bulbs in each bank.
Is it truly an open door policy if I stop down? when you would take me for a tour?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you want afterwards, I'll give you my phone number. It might be best to call me ahead of time.
Sure,
just to
I
make sure I'm
100%
there,
would call
because
you or
once in a
text
while
you
I'm
anytime.
doing some work
Yes.
uptown with Village Group. But no, I'd be happy to get anybody that wants to tour down there.
Dave and Scott, I can add to this. The previous wastewater treatment plant operator did work with a group for asset management plan, and so there's been a fine tooth comb running through the wastewater treatment plant with respect to the filters, the motors, the grinders, the clarifiers, et cetera, and what their what their life expectancy is. And a preventative maintenance program that can be used. So once Dave gets his feet wet, no pun intended, then he'll be able to dive into that and be able to use that to his advantage.
Yeah, the DEC has a big push towards, they are getting sick and tired of sending all this big grant money to plants just to have them not maintain the equipment, everything fall apart. So they're really trying to get all these plants to institute better preventive maintenance programs, have asset management plans so they can kind of keep an eye on where things are going.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And those pictures look great, so.
Happy days. I do have one more question. There was the, Ben wanted me to bring this up because it might go over the 10 grand. I'm not sure. This is for the screen for the VFD drive that I'm kind of coming in on the end of this. It was, Larry sent something into the power company because he thinks it was when a transformer blew and he didn't know if this was gonna get covered under insurance. I haven't heard anything. I don't know, again, that all happened before I was there.
Yeah, we talked to Pat Nicoletta and asked him to get with the contractor that installed that, because we thought that there should be some kind of surge protection device. that-
There is surge protection on it.
Right.
Which I don't, again, this all got done before I was there. I think the surge protection popped.
Right.
I don't know.
I
Basically,
never heard anything back from them.
yeah.
I can reach out.
I am gonna assume it's not gonna get covered, but I tend to be a bit of a pessimist.
Initially, there was a test for other responders, so I can reach out again. I didn't get any confirmation one way or another if they were going to cover it, but you need this tape done regardless, don't you?
Yeah, so basically we have I believe it was the plus side of 100 grand to get this cabinet all installed and put in. And basically this accounts for what would be the keyboard and monitor of a computer.
Right.
It's still working, but I can't see what it's doing and I can't tell it to change. So it's just kind of doing its thing. I believe the top bid, $2,500 is work that was already performed. The 51 or 5,200 is if they tried to repair the monitor that was there, and the 9 grand is just replacing the new monitor, or with a new monitor, which I would highly recommend. And then whatever their programming and installation fees are to do it.
Has the upstream electrical been addressed, the surge protection upgraded?
Nobody's been there that I know of. The whole plant is surge protected, that's why I'm not 100% sure whatever this was a surge that went through. The main power coming in has surge protectors, the breaker boxes going out have surge protectors, the equipment itself had surge protection on it. The electrical system, some bits are new, some bits are really old going through that plant, so, I don't know. This is kind of just where I've jumped into the chain at this
I
point.
know you're doing the best with what you,
Right.
Who's gonna be the deciding factor to determine liability, basically?
I'm sure it'll be National Grid just saying, yup, that affected your area and we're gonna pay you, or no, we're not.
Okay.
And then if you disagree, I don't know if you get a lawyer and go after them and say you have to, but I'm gonna assume that'll rack up fees higher than that.
And that was 16K,
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be this,
because you already.
it's
paid
hard to
the
tell.
25
So you guys do a lot of work with them in Novia. They do all the electrical for us. The 16 is putting those two together, which
Right.
it shouldn't. It should be that one and that one.
So 11.
Yeah, and then again, it's whatever the programming and installation fees are at $125 an hour.
Gotcha. So we'll reach out to Grid again and wait till we hear something more definitive.
Ben had talked about maybe trying to just get this paid and then getting National Grid to reimburse us if they're gonna cover it. Cause especially like right now, it's not too bad because the weather's staying pretty nice, but if you get into spring when the water's flowing real good and we get fluctuations through the plant, we do need.
Do we wanna do a contingent motions, just, once Ben gets back on board?
I think we need to do that.
And again, if
Do
we
you have
make
any
a
idea
month,
what the time
it's
frame is
a
for a
huge fit.
replacement on this?
I think they've got the part.
Oh, okay, they don't have to
They're
pin
kinda
them
waiting on
from
us.
Timu in China.
No, they're also not, the only rush would be, they quoted us this back in June. I don't know when price increases will go through if we wait. If we want to table this till next month, I don't think it is gonna be a huge deal. We wanna wait till.
Why don't we see if we get any correspondence from National Grid, give them a little bit of response time since they are always delayed.
Are you okay with just tabling for 1 month?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, it's working, it's just, I can't really see what it's doing.
Got it. All right, Dave, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody, any questions from the board for Dave Kirkwood? All right, moving along, Charlie, code enforcement.
Building department report. I issued 6 building permits in the village. Issued 11 certificate of occupancies or completions on people's projects. Again, as he said, there's a lot of people here. You want me to read the attachment part?
No, you don't have to go through that, just anything that is of eminent concern that we should be aware of.
Corey Hopkins on Collins Street, we're going to delay his court case for an undetermined amount of time. He's solved some of the problems on his property, other things he's getting funds for. The Parkside issue with the shed being too close to the neighbor's property, they finally moved the shed. These other issues are with the town. The village has 2 home renovation projects. Someone bought basically the 7160 College Street and 7277 College Street. Vacant homes are being gutted and renovated. On 7160 College Street, they're gonna just tear the whole house down and build a new house from the foundation up. They got a building permit that's still good for a year. We've got about 4 more months before they have to renew it. And actually, my fire marshal inspections is 24 out of the 68 have been completed. And then I won't read the other 3 pages. Any questions from anyone?
Did the addition on Cobra require a permit? Must be not.
The second house in on the right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't, just asking.
Oh, well, that would be under village permits issued probably last month, and that
Oh, that's fine.
contractors had problems getting help to rip the roof off and get a dumpster and stuff, so it probably was a month or 2 ago that he got a permit. Yeah, they get a permit, I've done
Great.
2 inspections on it so far.
You've been busy, Charlie, thank you for your service, we appreciate you being here. Any other questions for Charlie?
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving along, DPW report, Alyssa, you're gonna speak on behalf of Benlo?
Yeah, so Ben unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. He did give me a few things. First, he just wanted to let you know, he did hire a new employee. His name is Aiden Kelly. He started a couple weeks ago, and everything is going well so far. And right now, instead of looking at another full-time, he is looking at doing potentially a seasonal employee for the winter to help with plowing and different things that he'll need. So he's still working that logistics with that and timing out that that's the route he thinks he's going to go. He did receive tractor bids for the sidewalk tractor. He's looking at either a Kubota or another John Deere. The prices came in within $600 of each other. He does recommend going with the John Deere because that way all of the other attachments that he currently has and the plows will fit both machines.
Excellent, good.
And then the last thing he has on here is, I believe I gave everyone a handout from Livingston County Water and Sewer in all your folders. So he's been talking with Jason Molino in the county, about a little extra help with the GIS program to start logging the water and sewer infrastructure digitally. They gave a quote of $5,000 to come out. They will help tag all the valves in the boxes, and then they will give access to Ben, the DPW, to view everything in there. So Ben won't it's a view-only access, so what'll happen, he said, with conversations, is they're hoping that, so Ben will, if there's a water main break or something like that, he'll take pictures of everything, and instead of just him uploading it directly, he'll send it to Livingston County Water and Sewer, and they'll upload that. But the cost, a lot of it was a cost savings, because the quote for them to do this, put all of our infrastructure in there, give access, help add things as things come up, was for $5,000, and the quote to do everything through MRV, adding the additional layer in the every system, was gonna be $12,000. So it's quite a significant savings there.
We're moving forward with the Water District 5. All of those overlays will be added and available as well.
I believe so, that's all.
That's a bad question.
Yeah, that's a Ben question. This is just giving you an update as to the program, his thought process, and looking at, integrating in with the county for this at a significant cost savings for him. And those are the three things that he gave me.
And we also took delivery of the new backhoe.
Yes,
Did they come to train on that as well? They said they were gonna go through.
They were working on it today on Michigan Avenue, and looked like they didn't tear anything up, so they did a good job.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All I know is that it came with some software for him to go online, because they called my office twice about it.
Okay.
So.
Need a motion?
Oh, yeah, let's do a motion to move forward with the sidewalk tractor.
Yes, motion to accept the bid for the John Deere for the sidewalk tractor.
Motion.
Second, please. Erica, second. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Got it written down.
No problem. Take your time. You can follow up with your clerk report after that.
Okay, there's a few things that I have as well. Tax collection has ended, so we're finished collecting village taxes. All remaining parcels have been turned over to Livingston County, and those unpaid properties will be added on to the town and county tax at the beginning of the year. I believe there were 26 parcels in total that were turned over. I sent an email out to everyone, I think, last week or the week before, but to remind that if you have not completed the annual trainings, which are mandatory by the state, the sexual harassment and discrimination in workplace violence, please do so. You only have to do this though for one employer, so if you have done it at a different employer, you are covered for the entire year.
If we did it somewhere else, can we just give you documentation for that?
Yes.
It's best just in case wherever, yeah, so, and you can just email it and put it in your file, but if you have not done a training, I did forward to everyone that there is a training coming up, I believe it's next Monday.
Next Monday,
Yeah,
Yep,
9
and
o'clock
they're-
and 10 o'clock.
Yep, so they're one right after another. If you sit through those trainings, you'll just, you log in and then they'll send you your certificate afterwards. If you can't make all of those, you can log into your NYRA portal and do the class that's on there as well. The November meeting, this is just to get the consensus of what everyone wants, if you want to keep it the way that it is scheduled on Veterans Day. And I did not realize that back at our organizational meeting, when we listed all of our meeting dates for the year. The offices are closed that day, so I
It's
just.
also a joint meeting in town.
Is it a joint meeting that day?
Did we confirm it already?
They announced it.
I'll need to sign up for it. So then I guess we are gonna keep it that day. So I was gonna ask them if we could move it to the day before, but that's fine. Okay, the fiber project, construction is completed on the fiber project. I'm working with Richard Sutherland to get all of our documentation submitted to NDRC for final approval and then final reimbursement. And then we should be all set with that. All costs had to be incurred through the end of September, which we have, final invoices, I believe, in there for the Spectrum. It was like $8,000. But that was the last invoice, and then we'll have all of our closeout documents. So, like I said, working with Richard with that. We've had a couple of issues with streetlights. There's an issue with street light up on Rainbow Lane, I believe it's still out. Problem is that when the contractors have been here a few times to repair that light, I think there's something that's, an underground fault that's causing it, because when they have replaced the bulb, or they've tried doing a couple of different things with the street light, any repair that they make, it's causing all the rest of the street lights to go out. So that one, if anyone asks about the light on Rainbow Lane, that one is going to probably be out for a little bit.
I had a chance to talk to them while they were there, because I thought, how many people does it take to change a light bulb?
Yeah.
But it was 3 of them, they were working there for several hours, and they gave me the same information, so the neighbors know that that's going to be, there's in process, but it doesn't look very bright at this moment.
No, and of course it's getting dark sooner, but they're not sure what's going on. They do think it's an underground.
I think it's a ground fault.
Yeah, with that. Their Hogan Avenue, we've had a couple issues with lights. Does anyone know about Hogan? Is one of the lights fixed, do you know?
The one in the
Both of them
cul-de-sac.
are-
The one in the circles.
The one in the circle is not fixed. It is the other light that
The
was
one
out
up closer to
in-
you. It was between the cul-de-sac and your house on the,
I was told it was repaired, but
North
it's in
side.
front of, like the court's house, I think it is. But I've been told it was repaired.
I think that one's repaired, the one in the circle, they spent a lot of time on it, but it's.
So the one in the circle, it has to have a whole new fixture order for it. So I'm getting quotes on that, from the contractors. They've sent out for 2 different light fixtures, because there's not one that's gonna be exactly, it's gonna be close to what's there, but it's not gonna be exactly like that. It has to be ordered. I'm just waiting on the quotes to come back, so that way we can get it signed off and get it ordered. But I wanted to make sure at least the other one was fixed.
Yeah, that one's fixed.
Okay.
The one you're talking about on the side of Ford's property. Right, going down into the long driveway?
No, not the long driveway, the one that would be, I guess, right before it. Because there were 2 of them that were, I was told were out. Regardless, it's just the one that's in the
it's number,
circle.
it's number 10, isn't
They're,
it?
I think they're all labeled 10, actually.
Oh.
So, I did notice that when I went down, because I tried to figure out, and they're all labeled 10.
Oh, it's out, number 10's out, right, yeah, sure.
But okay, so that's the update with the one in the circle, though. The whole entire fixture needs to be replaced, so we're just waiting on getting that, the quotes in and get that ordered. I don't have a timeline for that
I'll
one,
tell the
but-
next person that asks me. I think somebody just asked me today.
Did they give an estimate of the cost?
That's what we're waiting on. So it was a lot of back and forth, but do you like this one? Do you like this one? I said, I don't care, just give me the quotes for whatever so we can get it repaired. So he was sending out quotes for both of them. Whatever it comes back, we'll just sign off. I'm sure it'll probably be close to $3,500, $4,000, because that's what we paid for the last one that was down in that area to be completely replaced. So those are, I think those are all the updates that I have, just on different things going on. And I do have in here just, an update as to where we are right now with, showing the budget, just showing where what we have just kind of spent year to date. There's a couple lines that look like, wow, you spent a ton of money in there. Please keep in mind, the CHIPS money hasn't come in yet, so that will offset. And there's the big purchases in here that reflect showing, the purchase of the backhoe, the invoice that's in there. So, there's just those. And the ambulance does have a large purchase in here, but that was the radios that they had purchased. The 31,000 was that, so.
I'm sorry, where are you recording that? Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But you guys can review those and then just, if you, let me know if you have any questions, and then we just have the invoices too.
Can we get a motion to pay the invoices, please?
I'll make a motion to pay the invoices for September, and which is in October.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Anything else, Alyssa?
I'm all set.
Awesome. Andy, you're gonna cover fire and ambulance?
Yeah, so, just quick one thing on, I know Meg just did a report, so I won't speak on that. The only thing I was bringing up for Meg, because she couldn't make it tonight. She's looking to get her parking lot driveway sealed this year. I got quotes for her, and the fire department, which I'll have in a minute. She's looking to spend up to $8,000 to seal the parking lot and restripe it up there. That she's looking to have a public hearing on that for next month, so that she can move forward on that.
How much was it? 8,000?
Up to 8,000, yeah. I grabbed everything else off my desk, but that one it's like 7,700 or something.
That's okay, up to 8,000.
8,000 for that one.
And we're using a local business?
We absolutely are. Yes.
And you had an too late.
You're all done. We'll move on.
And you have an application here?
Yes, so moving on to the fire department, we do have an application there. Mr. Huff, who's returning from military service, who's looking to reapply into us. He was a junior firefighter and then left off in the military and is back now.
I've known Mr. Huff for a long time, and can vouch for his trustworthiness.
Take a motion to accept Mr. Huff into the department.
Motion.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Can you pass the personal information down, please?
And then moving on to the fire department, we're looking to take, for another public notice there for next month, $4,000 out to seal and restripe our parking lot by the same contractor.
Is that the same parking lot we're buying?
Yes, it is. We're making it all nice and shiny for you. We want to make it look really nice for you. It'll look brand new with new striping and sealing on it there, so, looking to do that one also, so. We'd like to do that for next month's public hearing on that one. The next topic there is fire truck for us. We've been looking and working on for probably about 3 years now, replacing our 30-year-old pumper that we have. We worked on this, we spec'd one out, and it grew, the cost kept growing year after year, and we are currently at a $1.2 million purchase price for a new pumper. And it's about 1.5 years to 2 years out, which is just obviously feasibly, it just doesn't happen. We can't afford a $1.2 million pumper. So we started looking around for used apparatus or what could possibly be there. Used apparatus could be anywhere in the country. And luckily enough, we found one a couple months ago that was local. Churchville Fire Department is in the process of replacing one of their pumpers. They have one that fit every spec that we were looking for. It's a 2010, and it's been reasonably, really priced right for us. And we're looking to take $350,000 out of our reserve truck fund to purchase this and equip our truck and set it up for our use for it. It will fit our needs. It moves us up from a 1995 to a 2010, 15 years in advance. It fits all the needs. It has a 1,000-gallon tank on it, which is very hard to find. So all the city trucks and rural county ones, because they have a hydrant everywhere, they don't have those kinds. They usually only carry 500. So all those used apparatus were eliminated out of our search right there. So when we were looking at before, it could be a truck out of the Midwest. So there's obviously expenses and costs, going out to look at it, to see what it is, the maintenance and everything, we don't know about. This one here, we know how well it's been maintained, we've looked at it, it fits our needs perfectly. So we think this is the best option for us right now to band-aid our situation of a 30-year-old truck that is, how many thousands of dollars repair, Richard, that we spend on that thing all the time? I mean,
6,000 last month?
Yep, so, you know, and that's to band-aid the truck, so. It is a frontline truck that will be used, that can be used for it, to backfill in our current frontline truck of 235 there, so. That's what we're looking to set up a public notice for that one, for $350,000 for that one.
What happened to the old pump?
We sell it. We'll sell that one outright, we'll see, resale value of that one, it's not very much. If we get 10,000, I'll be happy.
Well, buy it.
What's that?
I'll buy it.
We've actually sold, the last rescue was sold to a private citizen, they made a food truck out of it, it was the old box truck.
Do I need a permit to park it in my driveway,
Because,
Charlie?
you know, the problem with.
I said I don't need a permit to park it in my driveway.
The problem with the 234 that we're looking to replace, it's not a custom cab, that's what everybody's looking for. It is a stick shift, a lot of newer, younger guys can't drive those, so, you know, we'll see what it goes for, but yeah, it'll be sold and that money will roll into our reserve truck fund.
And listen, we have that amount of money in the truck.
We do, we have over 600 in there right now, so we're only taking half of it per second.
Who's the actual seller?
Churchill Fire Department.
Churchill.
Yes.
Question, with that being from New York State, do you have to worry about rust on those trucks at all?
So that thing's been stored inside just like ours, so other than going out for the calls, I think it had 12,000 miles on it, 15,000 miles on it, it's been out there. The engine hours were only at 1,100 engine hours, so, you know, they're like us, they probably, you know, they run probably a few more calls, but, you know, most of the time it's inside the heated bag. As we do, we wash them and we keep them in good maintenance, we know the person maintaining that truck currently, so we know all the service records, they've done a great job.
Is there any rush or concerns about time frame with the purchase, or?
So we've talked to them, they understand how municipalities work, and they're willing to work with us on this, so. So, you know, the month's out there, and then we'll figure it out. I believe the chiefs are gonna go on tour here if we, you know, start to look forward to moving this, to see how we can start outfitting and equipping it, so that we can get it into service as soon as we can.
Just, it's $350, and that includes.
That
what you guys
includes-
would need to do too.
Correct.
Okay. I
So
just
the
wanted to
actual
make sure
purchase
that
price
you
was gonna be $280?
270.
$270 it was, and then the extra money was for any radios, equipment, things like that we needed on there. So
I just wanted to.
that's basically the not to exceed it price there.
And the fair market value is determined by?
So we looked into that, and that's been one of the best prices that we could come up with.
Sound like it.
They actually wanted to start the bidding off at 300, and we said we don't want to go that high, so we started negotiating with them lower down to that 270 price.
Congratulations on that find.
Yeah, it was a great find that our chief found actually, so. So,
Our maintenance guy turned us on.
well, actually, that's how it all started. He said, hey, you guys need this truck.
The other one, he's like,
That's
oh,
where-
look at church bells.
Right, so-
I can't take any credit for that.
That's where it came from, so. Any other questions on that one? Unless you got anything else?
No, I mean, like Andy said, it's a really good truck. It's something that's very uncommon. We wouldn't find, and we've spent a lot of time looking. I do realize it's a lot of money for a truck that's already 15 years old, but I really do think it's to the advantage of the department. We'll get another 15 years out of it. It'll solve a problem for the next decade, so that we can start moving. We have two other right behind it. You know, if we spend $1 million on this one, you know, then we'd really be in a hurt locker. So I think this is economically as good as it's going to get. And like Andy said, the guy who was taking care of it is the guy who built it, who maintained it, who owned the place that maintained it. And I think that's why we won the bid, because we're the only department that bid on it that was able to go and look at it. You know, other departments are bidding on it from across the country, so they just see the metrics. You know, we put Rick Krigo crawl around underneath that thing for an hour and came out and said, I need off that truck. The underside of it's the best truck I've seen at that.
And I've seen Rick eat.
He has no
Really do.
Did he continue to maintain that vehicle?
No.
Oh, okay, somebody else.
No, I mean, he's in that department, and that just happens to be his profession.
And what, is this a Pierce, or what
It
makes,
is.
it is a Pierce?
It is a Pierce.
It's a great name.
It's top brand name.
It is top of the line.
It is.
Impressive. Thank you for digging in and keeping your eyes open.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Good job, guys.
Yeah, really exciting, comforting.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I see under your miscellaneous descriptions, the number of grants you've applied for all say the word denied.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry that's happened.
Federal money has dried up, not just for fire departments, and my line of business too, everything is just, you know,
FEMA gave out less than 10% of the
Yeah.
normal
Right.
this year.
There's nothing out
Any
there.
of it. And then those other couple grants, and we keep applying for some smaller ones, wherever comes available, we just, so far, no luck.
No luck.
There's, one of the grants that we applied for, you know, they awarded 5 grants to 58,000 applicants. Five grants. It's
So-
just tough. Everybody's doing the same thing.
With respect to the CBA expenses and costs, how long are we gonna be able to survive on the rigs that we have now?
So we'll have a better assessment at the end of next week when we get our annual inspections. We'll understand better how many of the current ones won't make it another year that they'll take out of service. You know, I'm hoping that maybe we'll only lose 2. And then those 2, you know, we can potentially pirate some parts off them and keep the other ones running.
Which puts you at, excuse me for interrupting, but how many is that then?
So we started off with 18.
Right.
We're down to 13 right now, and we could be in 11, I think, probably by the end of next week. 10 is kind of like the absolute minimum where we start running into a risk that might be unacceptable. So as long as we can keep 10, 11 in the box for another year, keep those running, I'm comfortable with what we're doing. But a year from now is probably when we're gonna be at that point of having to make some hard decisions about piecemealing them, you know, which is problematic because, you know, then we would have to run the ones we have now, say maybe 7 of those and buy 4 new ones. Now you have 2 different models, you have 2 different types of models, 2 different types of masks, 2 different types of training. It just presents a lot of problems.
Right.
And it does increase the risk somewhat when you have different apparatus, different devices on the fire ground at the same time. So it's something I'd like to avoid. We're gonna continue to apply for grants. You know,
Total
we're gonna,
cost?
what's that?
Total cost, Vicki?
So you're really looking, it all depends, each one is a little bit different model, but you're really looking at $8,000 to $10,000 per system. NFPA says we
So
should have 18
$200,000.
systems plus per RIP pack, plus the bottles, you have to have 2 bottles for each one.
Filling
So,
station.
you know, if we were to say, you know, the grant we applied for was $231,000, that's what we really need to replace the entire system like we should. You know, can we get by on spending $60,000 a year for the next 3 years to get, you know, to where we need to be? You know, it's gonna start picking up. If we lose 2 this year, we'll lose 6 next year or more.
And the radios are another.
I mean, the SCBA's,
Yeah.
they're cycling out so fast, they can't get parts for them. They can't
What's the
fix
life
them.
expectancy of a brand new CBA?
12 to 15, and we're a little bit over 15 right now.
Previous to him, years ago, what we used to do is buy 2 to 3 air packs a year. And, you know, over those 10 years, you can cycle all through them. We had such a mismatch of different packs, different manufacturers, what a mess it was. You jump on one truck and you got this one, you jump on the pumper, you got the other one, you know, it was an absolute mess.
And by
So-
mess, you mean safety issues.
Safety issue, because, you know, you're trying to fumble, how do I turn this one on? How do I turn on my life safety, you know, the systems and different things of it, you know, because you had to know the 5, 6 different manufacturers. We were able to solve that problem at one point because we weren't able to get a grant, we replaced them all, and that's where we ended up with what we have now, 15 years later. So, I mean, the only real way, and that's why we started that reserve fund for the SCBA, was to replace them all at once, so that all our firefighters had the exact same packs on, everybody's was compatible, and knew what they were looking and doing. So it's really the only way to go about it, somehow.
So I'm not a big fan of debt, but there is a USDA low-interest loans that I think you've been made aware of. Does that make sense to at least investigate?
I think absolutely. I mean, that's one of those things, there's certain pieces of equipment we can get rid of and say it makes us more efficient, it makes us better at our job, and there's certain pieces of systems that are life safety that present, you know, an unreasonable level of risk for firefighters, such as the air pack. So I think if there was a time where we were gonna go into debt, take out a loan, you know, bond money, something like that, the air packs would be the item that I would say is rises to that level of importance.
Would radios
Radios.
be something to work into that as well?
I don't think so. I mean, the radios, you know, the new fire truck presents a little bit of an opportunity there because the radios are coming out of the old one. We have to put a new radio because the radio that's in 234 won't go into the new truck, so we have to buy at least one right now as part of that transition. So we'll get one of those radios. That's something I'm more comfortable phasing in one at a time, or two at a time, or three at a time over the years, because it's not necessarily a life safety thing. I wouldn't say it's an inconvenience, but it's not as dire or as important. You know, we don't need a multi-band radio every day. So when we go down to Ontario County, Monroe County, but the air packs, there's just not a lot of legal requirements.
I will pursue reaching out to the Department of Agriculture, local representative in Canandaigua, Anita Morse. I've got her cell phone number, and I'll reach out to her tomorrow and have her send information to myself, and I'll put you on the thread, and at least try to look into it.
I mean, we've got a lot of, you know, grants we've written over the last 2 years, you know, kind of in the box to use. We're gonna apply for the AFG one again this year. I don't think it's gonna provide much to us, to be honest, for the numbers they're talking about, not a FEMA or just abysmal, but it won't stop us from at least trying. We're saving no.
And when you talk debt, we're not talking ink, we're talking the village and the fire department, correct?
Yes.
How much is in the reserve fund for the air packs? Because the president said we were putting in, but obviously not putting in enough.
Yeah, so that's been the biggest problem with fire trucks, with any equipment, CDAs, radio, I mean, the prices are just increasing faster than we can put money in.
With the money we're supposed to get out of the town, the proposed town budget, we should have just under $80,000 in there at the end of this year, which would give us enough to make, you know, get 7 or 8.
Make a dent in it at least.
So you'll put the town money directly into the air pack fund, is that no?
No, it's a portion of it.
A portion of it.
We've allocated in our budget proposal a portion of their money, a portion of the village money goes into there, not all of it. But it'll give, the plan is that we would be at 80,000, right around 80,000.
And John, even to let you, even turnout gear, right, Dickie, that has a life expectancy. And a new set now, turnout gear, I believe, is right close to $6,000.
About $6,500.
$6,500 for bunkers, coat, helmet, and gloves. Yeah.
I mean, well, if we expect someone to put their life on the line,
Absolutely.
I don't wanna skimp on any personal protection equipment.
So, I mean, we're smart about it, right? And we have interior firefighters, we make sure that they have the gear that they need to go inside. Guys that are exterior only get the older gear, the juniors get the oldest gear because they don't do those life, you know, dangerous things, life hazard situations. So we're very good stewards of the gear. We buy usually 1 or 2 sets of gear for those 2 guys that are currently in the interior firefighting operating force, the guys that we know are interior firefighters. We replace their gear, you know, kind of without question, to make sure that they have what they need, and everyone else gets older gear. You'd be shocked at the year manufacturer of some of the gear that some of the guys are wearing.
Very good. Does anyone have any other questions for Chief Gary or Andy, Fire Department? Thank you, gentlemen. There's your Lima volunteers right there, folks. Okay, we have 2 guests that had signed up to speak. Is Callie available?
I'm here.
Hi, there you are.
Good evening, everybody. And, Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you for allowing me to speak.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Jonathan Stills loved Lima. He was raised here, he spent almost every moment of his life here, and he loved Lima enough to want to make it better too. In the interest of time, I understand it's a really full agenda. Tonight, I'm just going to say 3 things, actually 4, that led up to the village board being asked to write a statement of inclusivity, assuring that everyone in this community that they were safe and, more important, welcome here. Sean Foyt, a Christian nationalist who espouses hate towards many marginalized communities, was invited and came to speak at Elam. Second, Sam Nordquist, a transgender man, was brutally tortured and killed, with one of the indicted perpetrators being from Lima. Third, a young trans woman addressed the board and said she didn't feel safe here. Fourth, Jonathan, as a person of color, often felt anxious, scared, and not safe in Lima growing up. So, he collaborated with several people to write the statement. I encourage you to listen for Jonathan's voice and the incredible desire he had that this be accepted. Dear members of the Lima community, we, the village board, want to take a moment to express our commitment to creating and maintaining an inclusive and safe community for all. Inclusion is much more than a statement. It's a commitment we as a community must all make to one another. We as the village board believe that the inclusion can only happen when everyone within our community feels seen, heard, represented, like they belong, and most importantly, safe. Being inclusive isn't just a nice idea. It's about how we treat each other every day. It means showing kindness, listening to one another, and making sure no one feels left out or unsafe here. Inclusion does not pick or choose. We know that as people, we are all entitled to the same basic human rights, our unalienable rights. We believe that regardless of age, ability, ethnicity, race, religion, sexual orientation, and identity, that we are all guaranteed these same rights, which are the cornerstone of inclusion: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We as a board commit to being examples of what inclusivity means, seeking justice for all. Thank you for being a part of our vibrant community. Sincerely, the Lima Village Board. Idea to give you some time to discuss this, and maybe at the next board meeting, there could be some time for public comment before any decisions are made. But today, however, we have a speaker who's here to address the need for an inclusivity statement. This is Lorian Samara.
I changed the spelling of the name because nobody could pronounce it, so Lorian is changing it back.
Wait a minute, skip
My
to
dad
her,
is-
Samara? You can't get
It's
into
absolutely
that.
Samara.
So, I know I've met many of you on the board, and I know I've met many of you in the audience. And seeing as it probably appears that I've changed a lot since the last time you've spoken to me, I would like to reintroduce myself. I have changed my name since the last time I've addressed this board. My name is Lorian. And you may know me as an alumnus of Honey Falls Lima High School, or as an Eagle Scout. That being said, what I'm here to speak about today is what is most relevant to this discussion is that I am an openly queer member of this community. This is, is because of this last point that I'm before you today to share some of my personal experiences as a queer person in Lima, and as well as my thoughts on the late Jonathan Stills' drafted inclusivity statement. I preface this by stating that a commitment to inclusivity for all members of our community is not and should never be treated as a partisan issue. I myself am not a Democrat or a Republican, nor do I identify as liberal or conservative. It is my view that the choice as to whether or not to adopt Jonathan's inclusivity statement as he wrote it is a choice between standing together in solidarity as a community or allowing it to be carved up along arbitrary lines to the detriment of everyone in this community that we love. I want to be honest with y'all. Growing up, I did not truly appreciate this community for what it was. I was told by my peers, many of whom were also from Lima, that I should be ashamed of this community, to only see the negative or to only see the intolerance. As I got older, I came out as non-binary at the end of junior year of high school. I saw this intolerance they spoke of. I experienced it when, in response to HFL's GSA getting permission from the school to put up flags for Pride Month, a small group of students ripped them down and decided to hang Confederate flags in their place. I experienced it when I chose to wear clothes which were not sufficiently masculine for some people's liking at school. I heard that people had made threats to beat me up because they didn't like the way I dressed. I experienced it when I've been called slurs simply for being openly queer in public. But despite this intolerance, I have seen firsthand the other side of this community, one which is loving and supportive. one where there's a ubiquitous sense of trust and caring between neighbors, one in which people do not need a reason to treat others with the humanity and respect they deserve. But I also fear that many young people who have grown up in this town have not been given this chance to see this side of the community. They have only seen the side which is intolerant of anyone who falls outside the mainstream. I do not think it a coincidence, therefore, that a lot of young people, even those who have not been personally the target of discrimination, have been leaving this community for places they see as more accepting. I don't think I need to explain to you that young people are the future of this community, and that our community will not be able to survive long-term without the youth. It is for these reasons that I implore you all to support the Inclusivity Statement that, as Jonathan wrote it, to show these people that Lima can be that type of community that includes everyone. I know this decision before you may appear to be a choice between taking action to adopt inclusivity, to adopt the Inclusivity Statement, which Jonathan drafted, or to do nothing. But I would counter that to allow the existence, but to do nothing, to allow the existence of bigotry in a community is in and of itself an action. It is an action that says that every time a person is harassed, threatened, kicked out of their home, or has violence inflicted upon them because of their identity, that such discrimination is permissible. And at a time when people across the country, especially the youth, are finding it increasingly difficult to make ends meet, to find purpose and find community, we cannot afford to let ourselves be divided along these arbitrary lines and be turned against each other. Now that it is a time that we must be able to say that our community, and by extension those who have been elected to represent us, stand for all our people. I thank you for your time.
That took a lot of courage. Thank you.
Thank you.
For enlightening us. Thank you very much. How do you feel about the statement? Was that the first time you had heard it?
I had read it before. I had read it before. I had it sent to me ahead of time. When I heard about it, I discussed it with my parents, and I thought that I think I specifically heard that there was a previous trans woman. I do not myself identify as a trans woman, but I am trans, and because of that, I wanted to lend my voice to the statement, to show kind of what it means in practice. Some of the stuff I've experienced, and also just some of the stuff that I really love about this community and want to see. I want to see those values of neighborliness, of kindness to each other as in every aspect of this community, rather than just excluding it for some people.
Well said. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, we have a Parks Commission. Oh, actually, I want to put
Can I just stop for a second?
Yes, sir.
Is anyone on this
Would you mind
board,
standing?
John Waddick, Ziegler Drive, is anyone on this board willing to make a motion to adopt that statement of
I
inclusivity?
will. I'd be more than honored to do that.
Well, before this is our first time
Yeah, I got it last night.
We got it last
I
night.
don't think any human being needs to to study this any more than what you just heard about respecting everybody. Is that a value that you have to study, Brian?
John, go ahead, stand up. John, everyone in this room has respect for you. I'm not getting respect from you at this point, and you didn't get respect from me last Tuesday when you yelled at me at the town meeting. I need you to calm down a little bit.
Okay, Brian.
This is,
Okay.
I'm not, no, John, your behavior has been really poor. When you come into this room and demand something from the board, it's ugly. It's truly ugly. This statement started out.
Person just
This
came here.
statement started out in
State order right now,
John,
please.
It's my turn to speak.
Brian, let's have a seat.
John, it's my turn to speak. You
Take a
started, this
breath.
statement started in January.
Take a breath.
It's gone through 2 iterations.
There's a motion.
We all love Jonathan.
There's a motion on the
Is there a
floor.
second?
You can personally attack me.
You
can-
personally
You can
attack
go
me.
back to your
Let's
Facebook
take
and
a
attack
break.
me
I don't
like
think
you
there's
did
any
last
purpose
year.
in this exchange.
Jonathan,
Is
The
there a
board,
second?
excuse me, order please. The board will review the statement. I appreciate the statement, but I would like to digest it. There's a lot of other things going on in this community that need
Well,
attention
wait
as
a minute.
well.
Mr. Mayor, there is a
There is a
motion.
motion, is there a second?
I know that there needs to be discussion from what I'm to understand about this inclusivity statement, but I do agree that there has to be something publicly shared, that this is an open community to all people.
I agree.
So, how we want to handle that, I don't know, but I say there should be a motion to do that now.
I would like the board to be able to discuss it by email or in person to really digest it and to accept it at our next meeting.
So no second.
Could I have a, I don't really know who's allowed to speak and who's not. Am I allowed
Well,
to
you certainly have every right to speak.
Go ahead,
You're a
stand
member
up
of this
and tell us your
community.
name.
I'm sorry, Kay McInerney, on High Street. I'm gonna forget my question, to be honest.
Time.
Sorry. It'll come to me as soon as I sit down.
If it comes back, just let me know.
We'll be here.
We'll
Can I
be
just say
here.
something? This is Ken Smart. I wasn't gonna speak tonight. So, the very last conversation I ever had with Johnson Stills before he died, he called me distraught because he had submitted multiple versions of
Yes.
the statement to you guys.
Yes.
And he said, I don't understand, it's not a policy, it's not spending money, it's just an inclusivity statement. I don't understand why they keep putting it off, they're saying we're gonna offend people.
To
Who are
stay
we going
correct,
to
I have
offend?
never seen a version of
He
John's
was in
statement.
tears.
He was in tears
He called me on the
Guys,
phone.
please
So my
don't
question
speak
to
over
you,
each other.
my question to you is, what do we have to discuss any further? The statement is perfect the way it is. What offends you? What word? Give me one word in that statement that offends you.
Ken, it's nothing about it being offensive. It's being able to digest it and be able to give it
But
the
you guys
respect
already
it
have.
needs.
You guys have had it
That's-
for
that is all.
months and months
I
now.
have not. I swear to you on my kids' names and kids' group.
Jonathan told me you guys all read it.
I know, he was
No.
sharing that with
And
Melinda.
this was very slightly changed from the last version we saw.
He was told, but he told me that
The last meeting, I encouraged Jonathan to publish what he had on his personal page, something that I did earlier in April.
no, he was told that Josh was gonna rewrite it. That's what he
Yes.
told me. He said,
Mhm.
that's what he
Yep.
told me. That's
did.
what
That's
Josh,
news to me.
that's what Jonathan
I am
told me.
never a
Yep.
part of that.
He
No,
nixed
really?
it.
Jo-
No, and the
Where are
version
we
that was
getting our
just read,
information then?
Melinda was the only one that was privy to that.
Who was?
Melinda,
Melinda, but she didn't answer any of his calls when he reached out to her.
I
when he
can't
wrote it
respond to
several
that.
times. But you nixed it, you nixed the idea.
next which idea?
Mr.
Me?
Petratus, yes, you
I
did.
did not.
You did.
Jonathan and I were great
Look at,
friends.
no, you nixed the idea of his inclusivity statement. You said, no, it's in the minutes, go back and look.
We'll go
And
back
he
and
was
look.
told to rewrite it.
Okay, well, at this point, the board has decided to just table it
So there's
till
no
next
second,
meeting.
right?
There's
None
not
of
a
you are
second
going
at
to
this time.
second.
I respect the statement, I appreciate the statement, but at this time, we're gonna table it till next meeting.
Will it be on for a vote at next meeting?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Without any public comment?
What comment will there be? The statement's been read, and it's either we,
Not, the whole community is not here. People are not aware that this is going to come up to a vote, that you're gonna have a vote.
well, you
There-
just
it
asked
should
us,
be-
you just
you
asked
should
us
let
to
people know-
publish,
you
you
should
just
let
asked us
people
to
know.
publish the statement last April.
No, you should let people know, and you should include a time for the public to make comments if you're going to vote on it.
So we can post, like, we're going to post for a public comment for
Inclusivity
the
statement.
for everything else that we're posted, we can certainly
Right.
do that. We can post out there
Thank you
saying
for
that
commenting on that.
we're going to, open for public comment on
Right.
this inclusivity statement.
Okay.
So, and then we'll publish it, we'll put out there, we can put it on the website, the state, the statement, if you want to, as written, or whatever you wanna do, but we can put a thing out like we normally do for any of our other
Public notice.
any of our other, guys have me all frazzled, sorry. But for any of our other public comments, we'll just put that out there. We can address it at the next meeting. We already have a bunch of other public things we're gonna
So
put
we
out
can,
there,
pub-
we'll
so
just-
we can put it on the site as it was read tonight.
We'll follow our normal steps like we do when we publish for any public comment. We'll just do it that way. Anyone who wants to comment
They
on
can
it
comment
can
then.
come out and comment, and then you can go from there like you do with every other thing that we do. So we'll just do it that way.
Is that fair enough?
I remembered my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Kate McConaughey, High Street. So, about the discussion on the board, I mean, I understand that seems reasonable to me, but I'm coming in very new. But what I wonder is your discussion gonna be public? Or you mentioned email in particular, that means that we won't know what you're thinking and saying. So I'm just wondering, is your process gonna be open?
There'll be a public discussion and debate at the next meeting.
Yes.
The public will have a chance to comment.
Yeah, we'll
I don't
be-
mean the public, I mean your discussion.
We'll be able to share our ideas and our discussion with the public, absolutely, 100%.
So you guys will all have time to review those copies.
Right.
As is, and then you can discuss along with the public comments at the next meeting. And that way everything's all.
Is that, Callie?
I just want to say I regret that I got so angry. I apologize to everybody. This is very important, and I know that Jonathan would not have wanted us to be angry.
I also regret raising my voice. I'm letting you know that this entire board feels the loss of Jonathan as well. We worked side by side with him on this statement. Anything that I've heard anything I've heard otherwise is new to me today. That's new to the rest of the board today. We got the advance notice last night at 8 o'clock at night, an advance copy of it. The responsibility of the board is to have a statement that is inclusive for everyone. There are opportunities in what Jonathan said. I personally like it considerably more than his first 3 copies that he did share with us. So there is opportunity for us to look at it. I've looked at it twice. There's some wordsmithing to go on. Jonathan would not want us to say, this is the end all and be all. I don't think he would want that. He wanted to work with this board.
Can I also mention, by the way, that that's when he approved the final draft?
Yep.
Yes, she
But
said.
it's not the final draft.
Okay.
It was Jonathan's final draft.
It's Jonathan's final draft. I agree.
Jonathan's
And
final
is
draft.
that's what you're asking for, the final draft? Are you looking for it to be edited? Are you looking?
No.
You're
No, I don't
looking
think any of us
for
are
what you
looking
have
for
to be the
Yes.
published.
I appreciate your loyalty to Jonathan.
It's not a loyalty, it's a looking at a statement and saying, this is it.
This is right.
This
And-
speaks for
And as
us.
I encourage Jonathan to release it on his own, it can certainly be Jonathan's last words to the community.
That's not what he wanted. He didn't want to do a personal statement. He wanted the board to do it. That's why it was signed from the board. That's why it said as village board.
Right.
It's not a personal statement.
We're gonna move forward, please. Thank you for your comments, and we're going to get on with the rest of the meeting. We will post this for a public meeting. It will be shared, all of our input, and public feedback at our next meeting. Thank you for understanding. Parks Commission update, please, with electrical upgrades.
Electrical upgrades completed with a $10,000 grant from a gift from the Pumpkin Festival. The total cost was, including 2 change orders, $19,700. That is completed. 2 picnic tables were purchased for the park. One of those picnic tables was paid for by the Lima Civil War Reenactment Group and the Cannons for Cannon. The total cost was $3,500, if I remember correctly, with shipping. Pumpkin Festival was very well attended. The estimate is currently that it was over 4,000 people. I want to again thank Steve for his leadership with the Pumpkin Festival. We expect that there will be another gift. Can you want to mention that?
Be nice to us and we'll probably show up in November.
Fair enough. So what I would like to say is that the Pumpkin Festival, while highlighting the community, bringing a lot of people, again, 4,000 or so people, that which is equivalent to the population of Lima, on a very nice day to the park. Also, both of these things are revenues that will come back into the park from generosity of those events.
I will note, mine is $100 for the baking contest my 12-year-old daughter won.
Real quick on top of that, again, thank you for giving us the facility to work with down there. As you heard, we are going to sponsor the Eagle Project. That will be paid for completely by us. A couple other little electric upgrades. I spoke to Mike Falk today. It looks like the Legion is going to go ahead and coat the one big pavilion. We're going to do the other one, the small gazebo. And we're going to be this Saturday, I'm getting more quotes, Brian, on the roofs, bringing down a crew to look at. So hopefully, even if we have a mild winter, they could work right through. They're not going to stop them with cold weather. So
Parks Commission did receive a quote for $14,500
already.
for those two roofs.
Which roofs are we referring to again?
The roof on the, no, the roof on the Tubbs Pavilion, which is the gazebo, the Tubbs gazebo and the Legion gazebo. Both of
And
those
they're
are.
cedar shake and they're shot.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
absolutely shot.
So-
We were going to try to scrape and clean them, and they're all punky. The wood is gone. They're after, 30-some years down there?
They're well past their life. So, thank you, Steve. The master plan is being updated for the park. That will also include along with the village's disaster planning for events. Anytime there's an event with more than 4,000 attendees, you have to have a disaster plan, and that will be included in the village's disaster planning.
Yep, I'll be meeting with the fire chief and the Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security coming up in the next month or two.
Veterans Way 250 is, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was about the electrical.
Stand up for me.
Bill Smoge, Elm Street. Steve, maybe you can answer this. Was there an issue with, weren't they contracted to do the 2 gain boxes and all the electrical connections? And there's only the 1 gain boxes of power to all of it? Because I remember it.
There's one box inside the building.
No.
But-
Two duplexes per extension.
Oh, yes, two outlets.
Were there supposed, 2 outlets, but wasn't there supposed to be 4? I don't know what the bid was. I thought that they were supposed to have 4 outlets at each connection end.
No,
That's
that's not the way it was.
Okay, all right, so I misunderstood. All right,
Yeah,
no problem.
and I did work with Mr. Falk on that, being an electrician. I had to write the whole thing up myself, along with my wife's help, and I think we got it close to right, and then we decided that we're going forward. While they were there, for the minimal amount of money, there was another outlet put at the information board, and two outlets?
Two exterior outlets.
Two exterior outlets, Bill, on the south side of the building of the Rotary Pavilion.
Okay.
As long as they were there, so.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought there were supposed to be a 2 gain box that says 2 double, 2 outlets.
And
Make that 4. I guess I misunderstood. Okay.
we took the lowest bid. It came in at 19,000, and the only other bid we had that day when we opened, Brian, was 38.
42,000.
Or, excuse me,
48,000.
48,000. So, and we did end up using a local contractor out of Rush.
Good.
Put in bid for 48,000.
Sorry, I missed your question.
Who put in the bid for the 48,000?
I don't have the information in front of me. There was a sealed bid.
I will tell you, they were somewhere up Webster area. So those were the only 2. It was published. We did it all legally. It was all published, and those were the only 2 bids that came in that afternoon, by that afternoon.
Public expenditure was up approximately half of that, though. Both comes half from the village, half from the town, from the Park Reserve Fund.
And 10,000 from the festival
10,000 from the
committee.
festival.
Actually, a little over 10 now.
Veterans
Steve, I
Way.
wasn't trying to question anything
No.
you did. I just wanted to clarify. I thought that they were not giving us more, what we expected, I guess.
Yeah, no, we got what we asked for.
Okay,
in the
that's
bid.
all I need to
We
know.
did.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Veterans Way 250 is underway. That is, for those that don't know, part of the Be Well in Lima initiative to move more, also to honor the veterans of Lima and to bring notice that the Veterans Way Loop in Markos Park is in desperate need of upgrade. It's put in over 25 years ago. At the time, it was basically put in over a 3-year period with excess blacktop that was left over. Ben was the youngest person on the crew at that time and was learning how to use the backhoe. So it is something that needs to be upgraded and made accessible. So we have one person who's already had 200 laps in. So I challenge you all to consider taking some time up at the park and walking that loop, 0.67 miles. We still have plenty of time to get those 250 laps in.
Is there signage at the park?
There's signage at the park now.
QR code, so if you want, interested in signing up, you can scan the QR code.
And there's also one out in front of this building that has the QR code for sign up. That's what I have in the Parks Commission.
Old business, community center update.
So that is being handled by the Parks Commission. We are in process of working to gather the amount of funds to have a site plan. That is dependent upon donation, very generous donation, but we have to have a commitment for that before we start that. We've at this point, spent no money, but we're in that point where we have to have a commitment, and we're following up on that.
And the O'Brien property donation?
That's me. So yes, I do have paperwork for you to sign, Mr. Mayor.
Well, they got it finalized?
I would like a resolution to formally accept the O'Brien gift of the property. The agreement has been signed by the O'Brien heirs. There's a real estate transfer tax form to sign, and then all we will need is a $330 check for recording fees.
So, I'm sorry, things were moving so fast. I had a question about community center.
Sure.
Have we set a location for that?
The donor is adamant that it be at Markos Park.
Okay, because I know there's other properties that are probably less expensive than building something brand new.
That's absolutely true. All of those options at the time have all been explored with that donor. The donation is a considerable sum, but it's only going to be at Markos Park.
They made that stipulation.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
You were saying that?
Yeah, I'd like a motion to formally accept the O'Brien, the gift of the donation of the O'Brien property in Jordan Tops Park.
I will make a motion to accept the donation of the O'Brien family of the property at Markos Park with our great deal of thanks, and a motion to pay the filing fees of $350.
Correct. Up to $350.
Up to $350.
And we need a second, please.
Second.
Josh Petraeus, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Do we move that deed filed?
For those of you that may not be aware, it's O'Brien's formerly mayor of Lima. The family at the passing has donated a parcel of 1.8 acres at the south end of the park, which will improve access. There's already a walking path there, but again, as we move through and have issues with disaster planning, it does give us an opportunity for an additional egress other than Ziegler.
Okay, any other questions about the O'Brien property donation? Moving along to new business, MVP Fitness Court.
I've been in contact with MVP Health. They are They are part of a nationwide fitness challenge. There are several fitness courts that they are sponsoring. The concept is that they're human-powered fitness courts that are placed in communities. We are currently speaking about in a second phase of discussion. There is an opportunity between a $30,000 and $50,000 grant to continue the discussion. The total cost of the fitness courts is anywhere between $230,000 and $300,000. They are a well-established, very well-established construction and timeline for these fitness courts. The funding is also, the funding, which is outside funding, is also assisted with through the MVP Health organization. As we get more information, I will share it with the board and then take it through the Mark Tubbs Park, which is the intended location. Lima has already set itself up as a very desirable spot for this in the eyes of the MVP Health group. We already are committed to public health and exercise and have a very good spot to put it in. So as that continues, I'll share that through the Parks Commission, the information we gather with that. We're under no obligation at this point, but it is something that we certainly can be looking at to improve the health outcomes of the people of Lima.
And the dog park.
The dog park, now that we have electricity out to the dog park, I've spoken with DPW Ben, and the initial concept of the dog park was to have key card access. We will have to discuss the methodology of that. It's usually RFID with a active magnetic gate. The reason for that is to ensure that the people who are registered to use the facility and have proven that A, they have the New York State dog license, which is the first issue, and then B, rabies and vaccination updates are the ones using it. That would then allow us to finish the access path, which is the next item on that, to allow the village crew to finish digging out and not paving over, but graveling over from the pavilion to the dog park. The gazebo maintenance, I think we've discussed. That is, the two gazebos are both in need of maintenance and new roofs. Also under new business is the Be Well grant program. One of the members of the Be Well committee has received a $10,000 grant over 2 years to improve accessibility to people in Lima with accessibility needs. Those grants will be for things like accessible equipment. They will be centered at Mark Tubbs Park through the Be Well program in collaboration with the Parks Commission. Also part of the park, accessibility survey, that will, in that same vein, accessibility in the park is one of the goals of the Parks Commission. Again, you'll see that in our updated update for our master plan. So we've already have included accessible picnic tables, wheelchair swing, also which was donated. So as we do a full-on accessibility program, that will be part of the update.
What about Veterans Way?
Veterans Way Veterans Way, one of the things it needs, other than full resurfacing, is to be wide enough to allow for accessibility. There's current standards that weren't in place at the time, including it should be 4 feet wide and I believe it's 150 feet. There should be a 6 foot wide passing zone where two people could pass both with assistance devices. So the entirety of that is one of the things that will be established in this accessibility study as part of the master plan.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, I think that gets us down to
Engineering and associated costs.
So that was one thing that Brian had, brought up, looking at the local law.
The local law?
to Assign,
Yeah.
the engineering
So-
costs. I did pass an email everyone the chapter 81 in the village code, which I think that is what it addresses in there.
It
It might
does.
just need to be, updated.
Yeah, I think it's a lot it allows, so if, I think we talked about this with John Wyman on the board actually, but, when someone comes to the board or the ZBA or the, planning board or anything like that, for a plan, and we have to hire an engineer to help facilitate that plan, we can pass those costs along to the applicant. It's pretty standard law. We do have something on the books, it's a little, outdated, so I think it could stand to be brushed up a little bit. And I would also suggest, and I think Charlie would appreciate this, but you can also, sometimes when the village is forced to do property maintenance for people who are negligent in the property maintenance, for instance, if John Wonick doesn't mow his lawn for 3 months, and we have to mow for him, we can charge him for that, and eventually if he doesn't pay us, we can actually transfer that to his tax bill. So, again, a very standard law most municipalities have. There's a couple of situations in the past few years that would help us out. So I would suggest we kind of work that into some change in the law as well. So,
again, that is the purpose, the thought purpose was with that. So can we work on that local law?
Yeah.
Those two local laws, updating the
Sure.
existing and the transfer of costs.
yeah, we can absolutely do that. So I'm going to remind myself here.
Good. Any other comments on the local law? Questions? Next portion of the meeting is for roundtable discussion. I'm going to extend the floor to Ben Goswitz. Ben, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I do. I appreciate Callie, even though I don't know her. But to malign Sean Foyt, we have this inclusive statement, which I think is pretty good. But then here comes the worship leader, and I went to the service, and it was fantastic. He does not hate gays. Our daughter was a gay for 7 years. And so in the middle of trying to be inclusive, we malign someone like Sean Foyt. I didn't appreciate it.
Anything else?
No.
Erica? Welcome.
Thank you. And, I know there's a lot of emotion behind Jonathan's loss. So I think that, it seems like that's partly fueled tonight. However, I think more than ever, our community, which is the one area that we can try to control, because we can't do what's going on in the greater national level. I think we really do need to look at where people can really, we have to have some statement where people do need to feel safe and appreciated for our differences, that we need to, that, I've talked to you about that, to be very vocal and very visible about that. Otherwise, what that wonderful Lorian said is there's not going to be any sustainability of this community because people are leaving us. Anyway,
Thank you for sharing. Josh?
Just thinking through things with Erica coming on, myself being fairly new. I know we go over the organizational chart every April, but it might be worth going over again just with 2 newer people on the board.
You're right.
So that way we each know what we're responsible for.
We'll get
I
it.
apologize, John, you did in the one email say that, and I forgot to.
It's okay, I was just bringing it up.
I'll print it off for next.
Print it off and email it to all. We'll go through the line items. I'll work with Erica. I'll meet with her in the week to come. Is that all right, Erica?
sounds great. Thank you.
And we'll just define some of your areas of expertise. And Josh is the same. Okay. Anything else, Josh?
No, that's all.
Brian?
Did we close the open public hearing?
Yes.
We did?
At 8:20.
Okay. No, other than I apologize for my emotions. Good government takes time. This is not a new statement. This has taken time to wordsmith. It's taken time to work through. There will be a statement, but it will be the best statement that this board can make.
I want to take.
Actually, can I comment on that too?
Yeah.
I just, Kaylee's not here obviously, but Jonathan and I were great friends. It saddened my heart greatly when we lost him. There's no part of me that said, no, we cannot do this. My worry is for the village. I know that there has been cities that have put out inclusive statements that have been sued because they put them out. And I want to make sure that we're protecting the village of Lima as best as we can and not just throwing a statement out there, then someone's going to come by later on and attack it and sue the village of Lima. That's where I'm cautious and I'm careful of what we're doing and what we're saying, because we do represent the village. And if there's something in there that's wrong, we could be found liable later on. But I did not tell Jonathan, no, you can't do this. I would never do that to Jonathan.
Fair enough, thanks for your statement. I want to look into the eyes of everyone that came tonight and say thank you very much for stepping up and having a voice regarding the Lima ambulance. It's a very sensitive situation that occurred last Tuesday. The board is going to enter an executive session to discuss disciplinary actions, the retraining, and the logistics of the statement that's going to be put out hopefully tomorrow. We'll try to get a public statement out tomorrow. We'll have a meeting with Supervisor Falk, legal counsel, and the handing out the recommendations for disciplinary actions will be confirmed at that time. So I didn't know if you were looking to receive a statement tonight, but it needs to be confirmed with the board on proper actions. There's a lot of legalese that needs to be considered, and appropriate actions to reprimand the people involved, sustain the ambulance for the long term, and provide the emergency care service that this community needs. So that's my only statement for tonight. I appreciate all of you coming.
Mr. Mayor, could I just talk just a little about the ambulance, the presentation, just real quick, 1 minute?
Sure.
You know, I think Meg really did a good job.
Outstanding.
Outlining what the status present was with the ambulance and why it's not sustainable with the current model. She went through several different ways of going forward, and I thought made a very convincing case of following kind of what the lead of the village has been on this. You had assigned $25,000. Now to make that really work, it's gonna need the cooperation of the town. And I don't want to speak for the ambulance, but I believe they're willing to put some of their funds toward the part-time, daytime help. And you know, people can debate, well, would a hybrid work, will it not work, will the volunteers quit? We'll only know that, and I think this is what Max said, we'll only know that if we have experience with it in our own department, okay? And with the tremendous service they provide, you know, the $25,000 on the village side is equated to about $40 a house, assessed at $200,000. And probably town properties will be something similar to that. And anything you could do.
Less.
Probably less, because you have a much larger total assessment. But anything you could do to have a conversation with the town before their budget, because after November 4th, you know, you're gonna pass your budget that night. Right? I know there can be some amendment at that meeting, but I think something beforehand would be very advantageous. It wasn't clear, Steve. I know there's some on the town board that seem to be willing to give the ambulance a chance with $25,000. And others, we're not sure. But you guys are partners with the town, and we can only solve things by having discussion, and I apologize too for raising my voice up to Brian. You know, we're both passionate about the community, and this is unfortunate what happens, but I apologize, and I shouldn't have shouted it. I really wasn't demanding an action, I was just asking for an action. So, I don't know, if a meeting with the town can't be set up before November 4th, I would encourage, like Brian was there at the last town board meeting, that everyone on this board who can be at that meeting, be there for their public hearing, which will include potentially either including or not including the 25,000. So it'd be nice, as far as us who live in the village, to have our village representatives there to voice the support that you've given to the ambulance and your ask that, you know, they become full partners in that. So thanks.
Well, thanks for being there and showing up. Bonnie, your daughter, was just amazing in her presentation. Very heartfelt and a real life experience of what our ambulance does. The hand holding that Amanda did is priceless. You're not gonna get that from anywhere else.
John,
Steve?
how many meetings do you guys have joint a year with the town?
We started having the back quarterly. Yeah, we only had 2 last year, but we're trying to get them back on a quarterly basis.
So it's a full hour that you guys will meet together,
At
30
least
minutes each of them?
30 minutes to an hour.
But, I mean, with 2 meetings a year with 30 minutes, you guys had an hour all year long to discuss?
Mike and my supervisor Falk and I usually hash out any details in the interim, and I bring information to the board, so not to inconvenience both boards at one time. So we get a lot of work done that way, unless there's something that, you know, is of imminent decision and we're split between ideas, and that's where the joint board meetings come into effect and are more efficient. Yes, Steve?
So, a real quick breakdown. There are 644 taxable entities in the village of Lima, as the 24 census tells us, 1,035 in the town. Right now, you've dedicated 25,000. Right now, the town only has to come up with 20,000. I've dedicated my whole salary next year, and I am gonna follow through with that, so the town will only have to come up with $20,000. And I did bring up at the last meeting, there is one big area that has gotten out of control, and hopefully we can take money from that. But if we don't, a quick breakdown. At $25,000 in taxable, billable, to the properties, if you did it not on a taxable value, which it will have to be done that way to be fair, it would be $24 per household, per taxable entity. The right way to do it, to come up with about the same, and just quick figuring this afternoon, it comes to about $27,000 if you collect it all, would be 12 cents a thousand. So a $500,000 piece of property would be $60. And I've already talked, obviously, you know how strong I am in agriculture in this area. I've talked to all the farmers, even on open land. They have no problem, because what about if they have a combine fire? What about if they get hurt on their tractor out in the field? You can't just say this is for the homeowners or business. This is everyone involved. And $500,000 value, $60, really? We can't even go out to dinner anymore, 2 people for 60. What do you want to sacrifice in your life to have? And there's got to be some sacrifices. Let's not be obstinate to that.
Thank you, Steve. But make sure you pay your taxes on the 5,000 first.
You deserve the 5,000, you get the 5,000.
John, it's going. I've made the commitment, yes.
Thank you,
It's
folks.
going.
At this time,
I don't want to get another argument.
at this time, I have to entertain a motion to adjourn our general
Hey, John,
meeting.
quick question. Next step with the fire department property, do I have our lawyer contact you with some more paperwork?
Yeah.
Yes, we will have it all written up.
So, motion to adjourn and enter executive session.
Motion to adjourn and enter executive session.
Y'all would excuse us, please.